Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, Kakadash. Shalom to the elders for preaching word truthfully and sincerely, and shalom to the Hakim scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And I say shalom to the Hakim out there. And this is a sit-down lesson that I want to bring out from abcnews.com, published by Hung Jin Kim from the Associated Press, July the 12th, 2023 at 6:19 p.m. And it reads, it says, Kim vows to boost North Korea's nuclear capability after observing the new ICBM launch. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has vows to bolster his country's nuclear fighting capability as he supervised the second test flight of a new intercontinental ballistic missile designed to strike the mainland United States, North Korea's state media reports. It says the Seoul, South Korea, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un vows to further bolster his country's nuclear fighting capability as he supervised the second test flight of a new intercontinental ballistic missile designed to strike the mainland of the United States, state media report Thursday. Kim's statement suggesting North Korea would ramp up weapons testing activities to expand its arsenal response to the recent U.S. steps enhancing its security commitment to ally South Korea. It says the present unstable situation with security environment on the Korean Peninsula is being seriously threatened by the hostile forces every moment. Kim said, according to the state media, that requires more intense efforts to implement the line of bolster nuclear war deterrent. It says the UN Secretary Council is scheduled an open meeting late Friday afternoon to discuss the ICBM launch at the request of the United States, Albania, France, Japan, Malta, and the United Kingdom. The Korean Central News Agency's report, commenting a day after the launch of the Hwasong-18, which was the first tested in April, and which Kim has called the most powerful weapon on his nuclear force. It says the road mobile ICBM has built-in solid propellant, which makes it more difficult to detach and advance than liquid fuel missiles. The KCNA says the launch was meant to reconfirm the technical credibility and operational reliability of the missile. Kim calls the launch and another important stride in efforts to boost the North strategic force, the KCNA says. It says, according to the KCNA, the missile was launched on a high angle to avoid neighboring countries. It flew 74 minutes and a distance of 1,001 kilometers, 622 miles at a maximum altitude of 6,648 kilometers and 4,130 miles before landing in a target area in the open waters off the northeast coast. The missile flight time is the longest recorded by any weapon launched by North Korea. If launched on a standard trajectory, the missile could fly to the mainland United States. Though some experts say North Korea still has some technology to master to acquire a functional nuclear-armed missiles. South Korea, Japan, and the United States criticized North Korea over the launch that they said posed a threat to the regional and international peace. Adam Hodge, a spokesperson for the United States National Security Council, said in a statement that the U.S. will take all necessary steps to ensure the security of the American homeland and South Korean and Japan allies. It says Kim set for an Pacified task for the North National Defense Sector, saying North Korea will take a series of strong military offense until the U.S. and South Korea admit their shameful defeat of their of their useless hostile policy towards North Korea and despair and give up their policy. What's this highly unlikely and going to happen? That signals Kim will intensify his push to modernize his weapon arsenal with sophisticated weapons like the Hwasong-18. Other weapons on Kim's policy stated, which lists for a multi-warhead missile and a hypersonic weapon, a spy satellite, and a nuclear-powered submarine. North Korea has been focusing on reinforcing its nuclear capability after Kim high-stake nuclear diplomacy with Donald Trump. Former President Donald Trump collapsed in 2019 due to the disputes over U.S.-led sanctions on North Korea. KCNA accused the U.S. and South Korea of recently taking frantic confrontation attempts and bringing a new chain of nuclear cries on the Korean Peninsula. And it says North Korea often issues such harsh, warlike rhetoric at times of tense when its rivals. The KCNA dispatch cites a U.S.-South Korean agreement to strengthen the allies' deterrence capabilities, such as the periodic docking of a U.S. nuclear-armed submarine in South Korea and the establishment of a bilateral nuclear consultative group whose inaugural meeting is slated for next week in Seoul. The United States has expanded military drills with South Korea and taking steps to enhance regular visibility of the U.S. strategic access to the Korean Peninsula in response to North advancing nuclear arsenal. North Korea conducted about 100 missile tests since the start of last year. Experts say Kim eventually aims to use his enlarged arsenal to win greater consistency in future diplomatics with the United States. Future diplomacy with the United States. Wednesday's ICBM launch came 2 days after Kim's sister and senior advisor Kim Yo Jong threatening shocking and consequences to protest what she said called provocation United States weak assistance activities near its territory. The U.S. and South Korea government dismissed the North Korea's accusation groundless and urged it to refrain from the exactly escalatory actions. Meant to say Slovakia. And this is the book of it's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. It says that ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but it's not yet. And this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. This is the book of Joel. It's the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 10. Beat your plowshares and the swords and the plenty hooks, and let the weak say I am strong. Kim vows to boost Kim vows to boost North Korea's nuclear capability after observing a new ICBM launch. So with that, hopefully this lesson was edifying. I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Kakadash. Shalom to the elders for preaching the word truthfully and sincerely, and shalom to the Akim scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And until next time, I will say shalom.